Good morning once again, YouTube. It's Sunday morning, and welcome to my nightmare. It is now time to get this place cleaned up. I'll show you some new stuff I got. Over here behind this scrap metal, got me a new nut and bolt organizer. Got me a new gun safe, refrigerator. This is actually a project here. You saw in my last video that this is my cutting torch cart. Well, the problem I have with it is it has these little tiny lawnmower tires on it. So it doesn't roll around up there at the property over the rocks worth a darn. So what I have right down under there is a set of pneumatic tires with an axle already on it. So if I can get my shop organized at least enough to get back there to my welder, I want to get that modified, because tomorrow I'm going to go refill the oxygen tank so I can get back to cutting some more of that dozer up. Alright, here we are. I don't know, it's 4 hours later. What I was hoping was going to be a dent in this mess in my shop, I think more or less has turned out to just be a door ding. But the good news is, if I move the old lady's studs, probably move them back there by the roll-up door, because I'm sure one day this week she's going to want them dropped off so she can have them put on. I would do it myself, but she has those low pressure sensors in her rig, and if the dealership breaks them, they have to replace them. If I break them, I have to replace them, and according to what I've heard, they're around 150, 200 bucks a piece. So we have the dealership put her studs on. But the good news is, I made it to my welder, and I'll move those tires. I got enough room to get my cart done. Alright, so what we got here so far is I took the tires off. Like I said, I already had this axle pre-made. I was able to take a hammer and bust the stop washer off of that one. This one here is being just a little more persistent. But as it turns out, right where those stop washers were is right where I need to be. So that's why I'm eliminating the stop washers. Plus I need to then take a step over bit and knock that hole out. We'll get rid of that little bit of a half moon lip they have there on it, so that I can slide this axle through there. Alright, fast work with a step bit. These things are nice. They are invaluable. Let's see how it's going to work out. Okay, I expanded those upper holes. Got the axle ground down. Alrighty, That'll definitely roll over a rock or two. Now I'm going to see what I got for a little bit of scrap metal that'll fit down into here. And one other thing about this cart, ever since I've had it, it always seemed like there was something missing from here to here. I mean, it doesn't seem to flex much, holds the tanks just fine, but I'm going to find something that'll go through this hole, down into this hole on both sides. So what I did, because these tires are definitely a lot larger than the tires that were originally on here, is I had this scrap piece of tubing and a scrap piece of flat stock that I went ahead and just, you know, it's not structural or anything, it's just holding that piece of flat stock on there. Welded that on, came real close to the height I need, or close enough, so I went ahead and cleaned up the metal there, cleaned up the metal back there. If this piece ain't too hot, what we're going to do now is we're going to weld it on under there. Okay, here we go. As you can see, it's reasonably vertical. It is still leaning forward just a touch, but that's not that big of a deal because it is set up for uneven ground to begin with. So what I did is I ended up tacking on just that little cobbled up piece, because all it is a filler leg. And, well, actually I didn't tack it on, I pretty much ran a handful of beads. A couple of them are kind of moon pocketed because I didn't grind off enough paint. But one is for me, I don't really care. And then you can see I welded the 2x2 angle on the backside. Well, what I'm going to do now, what I came up with, is I have some of these scrap pieces of rod that I believe I am just going to drive down. Got another one here. Get this thing set in there. Well, that one fell in, but I guess this other one I'll have to drive in. But I'm going to drive those down in those holes, and, you know, granted they don't fit perfectly, but I'll just, you know, run a little weld on this side. Same back here, run a little weld back there, and whatever it takes up here on the top, just to strengthen it, because, well, you even notice that that post itself is not straight.